Oye, and welcome to the second video on downloading and installing STK 13.0. Some of these parts might actually get a little bit longer. I know the last video was decently long, but there were a number of things that set that up. If you are jumping into this video first, it helps if you go back to the first video and set up the steps that I lay out there and create your license file and send it off to Stellar Explorers. Now there's a good bet that what you would normally do is wait for them to get you the license file back, and you can easily follow their instructions. That being said, I just finished filming the first video, so I don't have the license file yet, but my experience has been, unless 13.0 is noticeably different, that you can actually do the next steps and wait for the license file to come back in. And then I'll show you that if you're in that situation with the videos as we go through, because we'll only be doing a few of them tonight, because I'll get the license file in 1 to 3 business days. Okay, as a brief overview, I'm going to go back to the internet stuff that we're taking a look at. There are 2 ways, to get to the next step. So we just finished in the previous video. Go back and watch that one and upload your license file if you have not already, so that you can get that up and running. Step 2, they tell you to click here on this link. It will take you to the downloads page, which is great. If for whatever reason you're having trouble finding this location, or for whatever reason you're having to use a slightly different approach, though you will have to upload your license file here, you can also Google AGI STK. The 4th link down for me is Welcome to Systems Toolkit 13. And then when you open this up, go to Installing STK over here on the left, and then I believe it's Standard Installation and Upgrade, and then you can click on AGI Downloads page. In both cases, I am already logged in, so that's where you can actually go through and do those things. It may ask you, among other things, the software license agreement. Click Accept. I have read this before. I actually have 2 profiles for AGI. This one is my Inyaloda one, which is the setup that I've got here. Anyway, this helps if you've actually logged into AGI first, which in my previous video I said, hey, Google it and then log in just on AGI's website, so you can go straight past any pages that are like, hey, you should log in first. Okay, so we're looking at this one way or another. We've got, let's see, yes. So if it asks about cookies, accept all, it should be fine. The big thing is what we want is STK Premium and ODTK. So it's the bigger of the 2. You're looking for the one that is about 7.3 gigabytes. Yep, gigabytes. Somewhere in that ballpark, because it's not exactly 1,000 is a gigabyte. Anyway. It's a little over 7 gigs is the important thing. There's STK Pro, which is only 5 gigs. The most important thing for you is that does not include the planetary data supplement, which we do need. So you very much want Systems Toolkit Premium and ODTK. You can click on this right here. I'm going to try clicking on it, but I may regret that. Let's see what it does. I believe it's going to start downloading it. There we go. It is downloading it. I am going to cancel that download. You would want to wait and actually have it completely load up. I, however, have actually downloaded it beforehand to keep us moving. It's 7 gigs, so it may take a little while to download. So I'm going to go back over to here. So I've downloaded that, and then it's the one that they have outlined here, but now you've seen it in real time on the screen. And then we want to install 13.0. They have a marking on here that says that this can only be done once the license files are received from Stellar Explorer's staff. It is entirely possible that that is the case. If that is the case, then you're probably not going to see this video because I'll have to reshoot it. That being said, in the past you can install the software beforehand, but it makes it where you have to do a few extra steps. So if you're following along and you've already got your license files from them, great, go through and follow these steps. They are currently updating them for STK 13.0. Given my time limitations, I'm going to show you my method as well. It's basically the same thing. Theirs is just, it goes a little cleaner when everything loads up automatically for you. But I'll show you how to access the things just in case you would need them anyway. Seems to work out pretty well. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I finished downloading that software. So I'm going to open up, let's see, just a folder. And I'm going to go to my downloads. Ignore the WinX64 that was in the previous video. We've got ANSYS STK Premium ODTK version 13.0. So this is the thing that you would download. You can see here it is a little over 7 gigs. On this one, I did this in the previous video, and on a small folder it didn't make a huge difference, but on this, if I try and open it up, it looks like I can look around in here, but everything is still in a zip folder. So what I'd really recommend is right-click on this and go to Extract All. It will ask you where you want to extract it. You can extract it right there in the Downloads folder. That should be fine. And click Extract. Here's where it's going to take a little bit. I'm probably in just a moment going to speed up this video, but it is unpacking these so that we can do our install. And we're back. So, hopefully I did something where either I sped that up, or if I couldn't get that to work, then you just saw a cut, and we finished up at around the 100%. My unpacking box disappeared, and now there is a new folder in my downloads, which is the unpacked version of this. Now, that takes up a decent amount of space because the zip file was 7 gigs. This folder is about 7 gigs as well, maybe upwards of 10. That being said, so you're going to need a little bit of space on your hard drive initially to get all this installed. Here we go. When this opens up, now we want to go with the very first thing on here, install. I'm going to open this up. Now, last year when I was doing this video for these, I don't know if it just cut out, but periodically the screen would go weird in the recording of this, so hopefully I'm getting everything. Okay, review our license agreement. This is not the first time I have installed this, so I've gone through and read this like an appropriate individual. I'm certain every one of you will also be reading it thoroughly. That being said, this is our review license agreement. I'll remind you that STK is very expensive, and therefore they want to be careful with licensing on it. As long as you are using it appropriately for the Stellar Explorers program, as laid out in their rule book, then you should be in pretty good shape, but it would be good for you to read over and make certain that you know the limitations on your usage of this. That being said, I'm going to leave that for you all. I'm going to click the I agree. As I said, I've read this before. You can print a copy if you would like, but I don't think it's necessary, honestly. Here we go, next. So there's going to be a couple of click buttons on next, and then it will do an install. Depending on your computer, its resources, and processing power, this may take a little while. My intent is to actually record the full thing so that you can kind of see it, but I am going to try and once again speed this up if I can, because otherwise it's going to be an incredibly long and boring video. On a computer that I installed this on up at school earlier today in preparation for us getting all of our licenses, I ended up with, I think it took about 20 minutes or so, and that may fluctuate depending on computers, so just be aware. When you click next and you go through and begin installing, maybe get up and get some steps for the hour or something like that. And, I don't know, make a sandwich. Anyway, see you on the far side of the install. I'm going to click next, next. You can choose where it's going. Program files is where it goes by default, and that seems good. Disk space required, 10 gigs. Right now on my laptop, I am beginning to run low. I only have 25, but that should do. And I'm going to go through and delete some of the beginning files after we're done with this to free up space. Next, next. And then use online version of help documentation, or you could make a local copy. Usually we're going to be connected to the internet, so I'd go ahead and use the online version. That's also the default. And then finally we get to the point where it says, hey, are you ready to install? So, here's where I'm going to click install, and I will see you on the far side. And we're back. So it automatically loaded up a page for the ANSYS License Manager, which is the next step that would show up if you are following Stellar Explorer's instructions. So you would install all of this stuff, and then it would bring up the ANSYS License Manager. Here is why they advise it's better to not install until you have the license file that you have received from Stellar. Now, clearly I don't have that currently. When I get that, I will click over here on the left where it says add a license file. You'll see that in the next video as well when I actually do get the license file, but you could click on it here if you have that. Click Browse, find the file that they have sent you, possibly in your Downloads folder, and then activate it. We'll see what that looks like in the next video. Right now, I don't have that, so I'm going to close this. So you could view installation log, run STK graphics card test, etc. I think in the older version there were other places where you had to periodically click OK and next. On this one it was basically click and go. So hopefully you got to see it in a much more sped up form. Otherwise I'll probably just have cut it so that you don't end up seeing just all the stuff in the middle because it took a little while. Okay, I'm going to click Finish. When you click Finish, it will also, if I recall correctly, there it is, bring up our license setting. And there are instructions on Stellar Explorers right now that I believe are still applicable on this. Normally what you will need to do once you have the license server going is you can actually, and the license file installed, then you can click Test. The server 1, in this spot you need to put the name of the computer. Remember in my example back in the first video I had made a point of saying repeatedly that this computer is named Lyra. Your computer could be called just about anything. Mine's after a constellation, in case you were wondering. Anyway, and then on the port, now here's where this is something that has fluctuated from time to time, but every computer I've ever used, 1055 is what you put in the port, and once you've got that, you'll click test, and then if it gives you the thumbs up, you click save. Otherwise, you might need to contact Stellar. Since I don't have the license file yet, I will be filming that video, so if you want to see this actually being done, take a look at the next video that will take place probably in 1 to 3 business days when I get that file back. So for now, I'm going to close these out. You can load both of those back up, the license server and the manager. Basically the two things that we just saw, but you have to kind of go looking for them. So I'll have that in my other video as well. If you already have the license file, you should actually be able to install those and go from there, and maybe you don't need to see that video at all, but I will make that and have it ready to go. So add license file, select the one that you've actually got. You might have to select run as administrator as they've got listed there, which is great feedback. And then port 1055 and server 1 needs to be your host name, which is the name of the computer. And like I said, don't let IT or yourself change the name of the computer after you've done the license file, because then you have to uninstall a whole bunch of stuff and then reinstall it. It's kind of a pain. Then after that, you'll be able to open it up and go from there, but I'm not at that point at this time. All right, I think we've reached the end of this video, and I realized in the last video, I think I said I was going to make 4, but I think we're only going to end up with 3, because I was so excited that we combined downloading and installing into one. I'm low on disk space. Yes, I am. So I'm going to go in and probably delete the download file, among other things, to free up space. All right, until next time.